Porsche 924 Turbo 1979–83. Porsche executives soon recognized the need for a higher performance version of the 924 that could take advantage of the model's excellent balance and bridge the gap between the standard 924 and the 911. Having already found the benefits of turbochargers on several race cars in the 1975 911 Turbo 930, Porsche chose to use this technology for the 924, eventually introducing the 924 Turbo in 1978. On release, the 924 Turbo was met with high praise from the automotive community and journalists alike. It was celebrated for its supercar-like performance and impeccable handling, with build quality, general attention to proportion and more purposeful aesthetics garnering universal approval. Some criticized the turbocharged i4 for its coarseness, but critics forgave it in exchange for its economy and remarkable power increase over the a car. In their comparison against the Aston Martin V8, Porsche 928, Porsche 911 3.0 SC, BMW 635 CSI and Lotus Equa 523, Motor Magazine found the 924 Turbo to be joint second in top speed, achieving an average of 142 miles per hour, and second in 0 to 60 miles per hour acceleration, achieving a time of 6.9 seconds, being topped only by the Aston V8 at 145 miles per hour and Porsche 911 at 6.5 seconds respectively, a remarkable feat considering the difference in displacement and price between the models. To power the 924 Turbo, Porsche heavily revised the VW A831 2.0 liters i4 motor already used in the a 924, opting to hand-assemble the engine at the Porsche factory in Zuffenhausen, Stuttgart. Porsche engineers designed and equipped it with a revised crankcase, connecting rods, cylinder head gasket, crankshaft and an all-new aluminium silicon alloy cylinder head. With the use of dished combustion chambers and specially shaped pistons, the compression ratio was reduced to 7.5 to 1. This helped better accommodate the K26 turbocharger without inducing pre-ignition. Platinum tip spark plugs were also used and exhaust valve diameter was increased over the engine. With 10 pounds per square inch, 69 kilopascals, of boost, output increased to 170 horsepower, 127 kilowatts, at 5,500 revolutions per minute and 181 pounds-feet. 245 Nm, of torque at 3,500 revolutions per minute. The 924 Turbo's engine assembly weighed about 65 pounds, 29 kilograms, more, so front spring rates and anti-roll bars were revised. Weight distribution was now 49:51 compared to the original 924 figure of 48:52 front to rear. In order to aid cooling, as well as to distinguish it from the standard 924, Porsche added an aqueduct in the hood. This helped heat escape when stationary and caused hot air to be drawn out of the engine compartment due to low pressure induced by the louvered alloy engine under tray when on the move. In addition to the aqueduct, 4 slotted air vents were installed in the badge panel, with open ducts added to either side the front valance so to aid cooling of the front brakes. 15-inch spoke-style alloy wheels, 4-wheel disc brakes with 5 stud hubs and a 5-speed racing pattern dogleg transmission was fitted as standard. Power was transferred from the clutch plate to the gearbox through a larger diameter torque tube. Forged 16-inch flat wheels of the style used on the 928 were optional, but fitment specification was that of the 911, which the 924 shared wheel offsets with. A rubber ducktail spoiler was fitted to the rear hatch, reducing the already low drag coefficient from 0.36 to 0.33. Internally, Porsche called the 924 Turbo the 931, much like the 911 Carrera Turbo, which had been known as Type 930 inches. Although right-hand drive specific parts were denoted by the prefix 932, both left-hand drive and right-hand drive cars are referred to as 931. This designation remains in common use by Porsche enthusiasts today. The turbocharged VWE A831 engine allowed the 924's performance to match that of the bigger, more powerful Porsche 928 and come surprisingly close to that of the 911 SC, 180 bhp, 134 kilowatts, thanks in part to a lighter curb weight, but it also brought reliability problems as was often seen in other turbocharged cars of the era. This was mostly due to the fact that the general public did not know how to operate or care for such an early oil-cooled turbo setup. Allowing the engine to idle and turbo to cool before shutdown helps prevent turbo seal and component failure and as such greatly extends the turbo's lifespan. For the 1981 model year, Porsche released a revised 924 Turbo Series 2, although badging still read 924 Turbo. By using a revised turbocharger with a larger compressor and a smaller turbine running at increased boost, slightly higher compression of 8:1 and an improved fuel injection system with DITC, digital ignition timing control, ignition triggered by the flywheel, peak power rose to 177 horsepower, 132 kilowatts. In North America, the 924 Turbo arrived in late 1979 for the 1980 model year. It was saddled with extra weight compared to Euro-spec cars, due to the federally mandated large bumpers and other safety equipment, and less power due to stringent emissions controls. Power was 143 horsepower, 107 kilowatts, nearly 20% down on the European model. For the 1981 model year, power increased slightly to 154 horsepower, 115 kilowatts, and the transmission was switched to one with a regular H-pattern layout, North America only. The 924 Turbo also saw success in motorsport, mainly in rally guise, preceding the introduction of the 924 Carrera GT. Between 1977 and 1980, Jurgen Barth and Roland Kussmaul headed a project to develop a competition specification 924 Turbo. The competition cars were based on prototype 931s purchased from the factory by the Porsche head of motorsport Peter Falk, engineer. Modifications included but were not limited to a wider track, rally arches and auxiliary light pods. The car first competed in the 1979 Monte Carlo Rally and with Barth and his co-driver Kussmaul at the helm, the car finished fourth in the GT4 class, despite being de-specs due to homologation requirements. The 1979 season continued with the same car and drivers taking part in the famous 19,000 km 1979 round Australia trial. Impressively, the car won its class, completing the trial with accumulated penalties of 13 hours and 9 minutes across the 134 stages. The 1981 season saw the 924 Turbo make history when it carried a JVC camera inside the cabin, capturing the first ever in-car footage of the famous Monte Carlo Rally. This was its final season, retiring to make way for the intercooled 924 Carrera GT.